We'll come back to your music in a few moments, but I would like to discuss your stint as an entrepreneur. So I believe you were 20 years old when you were running your own shop. Is that right?
Yeah,
So what was the shop and what led you down that route?
good question. I think I often ask myself this, but I guess I was just, to put it simply, following my intuition. I was very lucky I did because I managed to set it up. It was actually 2019. I just turned, was it 2019? Yeah, it was 2019. And I just turned 20 and it was in August 2019. And I set up the first one in Banagher.
And sorry, what was the shop?
It was a flower store.
Flower shop.
Flower store. And I actually had a little coffee dock in there as well.
Ah, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I was obsessed with coffee. So I went on different coffee courses and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I need to have coffee. Wherever I go, I'll have to have a coffee machine there. So I had that installed. And I just felt intuitively guided to do it. It wasn't kind of a... Now, I was very lucky. Like, I'd grown up in a business background.
Yeah.
So I had that. My mother was also a florist. I had grown up with her, spending all my summers training. And she sent me to volunteer there and to learn and experience things. So I had all that behind me, but it was really just an intuition thing. And I was very lucky because a few months later, the pandemic happened. And I was able to work behind closed doors and continue on.
Yes.
And I pivoted at that point. So I went from singing kind of, you know, trying to get out there with the original music to like singing for funerals. And I actually really enjoyed it, believe it or not. I found I could have amazing experiences. Like one time I was singing and a little butterfly came down and landed on my microphone. And then another time it was like whatever way the light hit in and I just would have these ecstatic moments. And it also was quite a special thing because funerals were reduced to maybe like 6 to 8 people.
Yeah, of course.
So you'd be part of a ceremony. I'll never forget one time there was a man that was from America, but his family couldn't travel. It was like something wrong there. And I was the only one with my accompanist at the whole funeral.
Wow.
So it was like it was a really strange time, I think, in some ways, but it's when it really, I felt like I was part of something special. So I really enjoyed that. And then I was working away at the flower store. Working quite hard though. It was like 7 days a week open.
Yeah.
And I threw myself into it. So I think in some aspects, when people had that I never had that lockdown experiences, and I was constantly going. I was delivering, and I was making up stuff, and it was really busy.
Yeah, and especially around that time too, a lot of flower shops did do quite well because it was a way of it was a way of connecting with people and showing that, well, here's a little thing for you, and I can't go out and deliver it yourself, but there's sentimentality to it as well. How did you get involved with the singing at funerals?
That was kind of just, I think, looking back, I think it was first it was a family funeral, and then what happened was I got roped into to do a friend of a friend's funeral, and then it just kind of just started happening, and then I was getting asked, would you sing at this funeral, and then it just kind of, it's just thinking funerals, then it kind of just rippled out. But I just, I felt really honoured to have been asked, and I kind of leaned into my classical and operatic training as well because I think hymns are some beautiful melodies. There's beautiful melodies and powerful lyrics. I think in a lot of hymns we probably underestimate, I think.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. So it just kind of started to spiral. I suppose word of mouth kind of goes around. I never really advertised. It just kind of, it happened, and then I'd be doing the flowers, and then maybe I'd be singing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like it is a massive honour to be part of such an occasion like that as well, because obviously it's quite sad, but I think having a musical accompany to it, and it is still hymns and it is still part of the process, part of the ceremony, but it does make it just that little bit special. And I think it is another little element of, it's a good send-off, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Celebration of life, isn't it?
Absolutely, exactly. Yeah. It's a celebration of life. So it's really cool. It's a very, very cool thing to be part of, and not something I've actually particularly heard of outside of you doing it yourself. So congratulations. I'm delighted someone like yourself who actually isn't just, I'm going to go out and sing a few funerals. Like, you actually care. Like,
I took it really I remember actually recently sung at a funeral a few months ago as well, and it chose Super Trooper.
Cool.
I thought that was like, I think there was another one, My Way, Frank Sinatra. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I was like, yeah. There was some other unusual ones. Like there was a Eurovision one in there as well, and I was just like, it sounded like they picked songs that I'd never thought would.
Yeah.
But like, isn't it amazing that they were like, well, this is what meant these songs touched them. Yeah.
Cool. Just kind of touching back onto the flower shop side of things. Do you miss running your own business?
There's a true saying. Because my mom is still running the flower shop. Like, I kind of, in some aspects, even though I feel like I've left it, I haven't, because it's still happening in my surroundings.
Yeah.
Naturally enough, you'll always get pulled in on the busy occasions. Like, I don't really have a Christmas Eve. I still don't have a Valentine's Day, and I still don't have a Mother's Day. Like,
Yeah,
I
good
will
luck.
always be roped in.
Yeah.
I always say to her, I was like, I can imagine myself, I said, maybe walking out on a big stage somewhere, and you will call me and say, are you coming in tomorrow for Mother's Day? That's my visions of all these things.
Just don't book
But-
any festivals around those times.
I know. You're just like, no. Yeah, so I think I feel like I'm kind of still half in it, even though I'm not really. But it was meant to happen at that time, and I learned so much. Like, they're transferable skills. I think this is the
Absolutely.
thing. Like, growing up, I might not necessarily have had those skills naturally, but you know, working there, I was able to work on them, and then you bring them into the music side. Because if you don't have your head screwed on you in the music business, you will quickly kind of, you know, that you have to know about contracts. There's loads of things you can kind of get yourself tied up in, and I think if you really want your art to get out there, you have to know how to market it. And art is not something that comes natural, especially if you're like, I'm actually introverted, and I probably come across, I think, to a lot of people maybe extroverted from the radio and being out and about with people all the time. But that's something I've had to get myself comfortable with.